Now, I'm not going to tell you can't skip right to the end of the video and see who wins this battery test. Of course you can, your time is valuable, but where's the fun in that? Come for the journey. But if you do find it useful, a cheeky little like and subscribe will be fantastic because these take forever to make. Let's get cracking. And you know this is serious because I've put my glasses on. So I have 10 of the latest and greatest flagship phones here with me. The new additions for this test include the Xiaomi 15 Ultra, the Galaxy S25 Edge, and also the Sony Xperia 1 Mark 7. Now you may be thinking, hang on a minute, Tom, where is the Vivo X200 Ultra? Where is the Oppo Find X8 Ultra? Well, I didn't want to include those because you can't buy them outside of China. Yes, you can import them, but what you can buy is their Pro versions. You've got the X8 Pro, you've got the X200 Pro, still terrific phones. Now, as usual for my tests, I'm running all of these at 150 nits of brightness. They all have 100% of their battery health, and also all background apps closed, fresh restarts, latest software. There's not much else I can do to make this a more even test. I'm going to run through a rotation of apps and change them every half an hour, and basically see which one dies first and which one dies last. It's a very simple premise behind this video. Why don't I use eSIMs and test these out and about in the real world? It just introduces too many variables. So I'm going to keep this as, well, scientific, quote unquote, as possible. So 10 phones here, but we actually have quite a range of chips. We've got the A18 Pro in the iPhone, we've got the MediaTek Dimensity 9400 in the Oppo and the Vivo. The rest of the phones have the Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, the latest from Qualcomm, except of course the Pixel, which has Google's own Tensor G4. Now we're a couple of hours into the test, and we've just finished half an hour of playing War Thunder, which is a pretty demanding game, and I want to show you the basically thermal imaging of the group here. See what the peak external temperature is after half an hour of gaming. And well, as you can see, the iPhone actually loses 45 degrees Celsius. You'll also see that the S25 Edge is about 2.5 to 3 degrees hotter than the Ultra. Now, of the life cycles of these phones, the Pixel is most likely to be updated the soonest. We've actually seen some leaks of the Pixel 10 series. I've learned not to hold my breath for significant improvements to the Pixel battery life, but they have steadily got better year on year, and we'll have to see how the Pixel 10 series compares when that launches. I'll have to do this all over again. But now it's 8:30 at night, I could do with a rest, and I'm also keen to see how these compare in terms of their standby battery lifetime. So I'm going to come back in 12 hours and see how much they've dropped. And through the miracle of editing, I am back, and they're all in the same ballpark, you know, losing 4, 5, 6% overnight, except for the iPhone, which only dropped 2%. Now, I read pretty much every comment that you guys write below my videos, and one thing that comes up every time is, hey, this phone won, but the iPhone technically has the smallest battery, and so in terms of per watt performance, or per watt longevity of the phone, the iPhone generally comes first, and I think that is what we're going to see again here. But first, we have to mourn our first casualty. The S25 Edge kicks the bucket just shy of 8 hours, as the S25 Ultra still has 23% in the tank. But jumping ahead to the 8.5 hour mark, I think it's pretty obvious who's going to go next. That Pixel is in dangerous territory. And just before 8 hours 40, we lose the Pixel 9 Pro XL. Normally, the Pixel loses in these battery test videos, but hey, we've got a new loser now thanks to the S25 Edge. Then at 8 hours 58, we lose the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. I had hoped this would be even better, but it is still quite a significant upgrade in terms of battery life and temperatures and performance over the previous 14 Ultra, which I was never that much of a fan of, but I really do like the 15 Ultra. Although it does have quite a big battery relative to some of the other guys, so yeah, I hope that would have done a little bit better. But around the 9-hour mark in this particular test is when they start dropping like flies. Next to go is the S25 Ultra, but then literally 1 minute later, the Sony kicks the bucket, the Xperia 1 Mark 7. It does have the same size battery as the S25 Ultra, but a smaller screen, and actually it's not quite as powerful because you haven't got the full Galaxy tuned chip. Then we lose the iPhone, and I know a lot of videos sort of go back and forth on whether the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the S25 Ultra beat each other, but repeatedly in my tests, the iPhone just outlasts the Samsung. But then impressively, even though the Honor Magic 7 Pro only has 1% left, it keeps going for a good 45 minutes longer until 9 hours and 53, which is actually pretty good going, and that is the smaller international global version of the phone. Bear in mind the Chinese version does have a bigger battery. Leaving the top three, and it is interesting that both the Vivo and the Oppo there with the Pro versions of the phone both use the MediaTek Dimensity 9400. But hang on a minute, the OnePlus 13 holds on to that remaining bit of battery and actually beats the Oppo X8 Pro to come in second place, which of course means the Vivo X200 Pro wins, and it still has 17% of its battery left. The Vivo with the MediaTek chip is an incredible combination for battery life. So in last place, the S25 Edge. Not really surprising given how much thinner it is, and it's also a 3900 mAh battery, and technically it's not their top-end flagship phone, but a little bit disappointing. Followed by the usual last place, the Pixel 9 Pro XL, which is due to be refreshed soon. Then the Xiaomi 15 Ultra. I really do like this phone, but I kind of wish it performed a little bit better here. Then the S25 Ultra, which, as I say, often goes toe-to-toe with the iPhone. But then, new for this test, the Xperia 1 Mark 7, which I must admit I'm a little bit underwhelmed by as a phone. Then the iPhone 16 Pro Max. Obviously, we'll get new ones in September. Then the Honor Magic 7 Pro. Again, that would last much longer if it was the Chinese version with the bigger battery. In third place, the Oppo Find X8 Pro. Really good effort there. But then, surprisingly, second place goes to the OnePlus 13, which for me is actually one of the most underrated phones of the year. I really, really rate the OnePlus 13. It's just a great all-rounder. But then we have the winner for this mid-2025 battery test, the Vivo X200 Pro. Did you guess the winner at the start? Did you get it right? Let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if there's any other phones you'd like me to include next time. I reckon we'll have new Pixels. Maybe I'll include some of the Ultra phones from Oppo and Vivo as well. But hey, hopefully that was useful. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time right here on the Tech Chat.